why do we watch the tape? And why do I keep some of the charts not for a minute or two? There is supposed to be a reason for. That's what I want us to cover today in our 15-minute mentoring. In the past, I used to switch a lot, and what came to my mind is the process through the DRC, the daily report card and everything that, although I traded stock that I was preparing, and it went well or it didn't went well, after the trade, I used to move on, and that was a mistake. So now, for example, I'm keeping charts, not for a few minutes, picks that I have from the pre-market, because here's the deal. I prepare the trades, I prepare the levels, I learn the stocks, I know the volumes, I know everything about it, and definitely it's worth, even though it's not doing something to me in the beginning, or it did, it might do even much more, and I'm going to give you an example of this. During the screening process, if I see some sector that's pretty strong or pretty weak, and I'm going between the stock of the sector, definitely I will keep and put some, major stock from there, just to follow up. I will have the chart of the sector, I will have the chart of the most actives, in order to see something in the future. I traded some stock, whether it was from the pre or no, and there was a reason. Usually I still keep the chart. Again, you're going to see some example that I have, because a lot of times you can have a good trade, but maybe the second trade or the second chance, if you lost, can be even better. And since you already traded, and since you already know the level, and since you already know the pattern of behavior, you feel comfortable. If I have a candidate never traded yet, but you're going to see Qualcomm, for example, that I always do. If it's one of my best playbook that have the opportunity, I will keep the chart on. Another example I'm going to show you is through the process that you have stocks, nothing happen, you keep chart, some you have pretty empty space, you search, you look for, you go through the screener, you go through the sectors, and here's what's helps, at least the more you get experience, you can see the potential. So nothing specific, but since you can get an eye less than a second, to see whether you have a potential. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it's not. But these are the blink of an eye that cause you to, through the process, put the chart, I will watch it to see whether something good could happen. I'll start learning it, When I have candidates that come from this momentum, I'm not coming to the trade blindly. So if I have a stock, for example, I will go research, what's the relative volume, ATR, sector, spread. I start looking at level 2 to understand, because sometimes you can get a sense of something. You actually see some levels, important levels, and you write it, because the more you do this research and the more you do those kind of preparation, when the moment will come, boom. Now, from time to time, I'm listening, let's say, for trade views or whatever, trade ideas, sorry, or other source. And sometimes they are talking about it, and I'm, putting the stocks, and looks interesting, definitely. Same issue. So, if I want to cover this, you need to have a reason for every chart that you have on your screen. It doesn't matter if you have 4 or 8 or 12 charts. There's supposed to be a reason that it actually take a place in front of you. If not, definitely you need to clean it. And it's not, the stock that you prepare at the beginning of the day, that's it. No way. Still, if it's breaking certain pattern, whatever, you can move on. But if nothing happened and the trade, let's say, the stock is doing a side move, but still, there's a potential. You not get bored or you not get impatient just because it's just side move, for example. Still keep the chart. This is kind of an example that I had yesterday, one of the amazing trades, and I was watching the screener, and I posted yesterday, and somebody asked me, Amir, it's not your regular style of trading. They usually has 500,000 shares, blah, blah. Okay, but this is usually. Okay, this vendor had huge ATR regarding, so you're right, there is certain, but today something happened. Now, when I was watching the screener, that's what I saw, this big candle and slight move on the VWAP. So for me, it's a great potential. Now, another potential is that 10, okay? 10 is a good area where under it, a lot of institutions need to sell. And then part of the research, I went to the daily and I had to go even to the monthly, I think, to see that next resistance, we have around the 7 or something. So there is a huge potential. And so I start to build in a trading plan, like for example, right now, if it's breaking under here, a little bit under 10, and we have like maybe 15-cent stop, it could be a great potential, especially when I know how much edge it has. And that was the edge. Think about, that was the trade. Stop and just amazing, 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 amazing. Didn't get to the 7, but I think the last portion was almost 1 to, what was it, 15 or something? It was amazing trading. And again, how did it came? I saw that area here. And I put the chart and I was waiting, and it actually had a beautiful formation. I planned it, boom. And when it broke the low of the day, I even add more, and then you can see the real capitulation. Another example, Qualcomm. So you saw me, this is like, I put it from today, so you're not going to see here, for example, a very high relevant volume, but that's part of what I'm looking. A gap down with a big institution, less short float, good ATR, and usually in that day there was a big relevant volume. So Qualcomm was a good candidate for me. And again, volume at the beginning, and 118 I think was a good trade, was going beautifully, closed the gap a little bit even more, and I was getting out here. But I know Qualcomm, I know that it is favored on the institutional, so I kept it on my screen. Now again, second part of the day. So got a nice area here to the VWAP, and got good support of the around 119, which was a good area around here. So I already know the levels, there was a good risk reward, and boom shakalakt, another trade. And it just came to my attention just because I kept, the chart of Qualcomm. So there's a lot of potential, a lot of times I have the market watch, I have stocks and sector, whatever, I can see only the price. But what I'm trying to say is that when you have to be selective and you actually put, the graphic and the chart, it's definitely helps you to make a good trading decision. Before, summarize everything, I want to introduce my one-on-one live mentoring. And as the great Mike Bellafiore said, it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to take a few minutes to rant, but now what are you going to do to get better? Will you turn that frustration to fuel into work? That will make you a better trader. How you answer will be seen in your future P&L. So if you are interested, to trade like pro, risk management, trading plan, trade live, analyze, make decision, make report cards, and keep in touch with me. Main focus going forward. When you learn a stock, keep the chart on, guys. Although you trade it, for example. If there's something with potential, keep the chart. Don't hesitate. Sometimes you see something, but then you say, and you don't put a chart, and then after that you see that it happened, and you was not aware just because it was not in front of you. Stick to the plan. So if you see a chart and you have kind of a plan, and don't start to change it just because, for example, it's just doing side move, and if it didn't break pattern that you're looking, keep it. I'm using a lot of automatic orders, because instead of preparing with my finger, that's what I do a lot of time. With stop in the future and take target, take partials. And again, side move is not a way to leave a chart. Doesn't happen, still keep the chart, still keep the plan, and let the trade grow. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system. Your goal is your desired outcome. Your system is a collection of daily habits that will get you there. This year, spend less time focusing on outcomes and more time focusing on the habits that precede the results. James Clear, Atomic Habits. And we're doing this 15-minute mentoring every time because we need to crush our limited beliefs.